Hello, and welcome to Word of Hope for Sunday in the second week in Advent. I am Brother Joe Trout, coming to you once again from St. Vincent Ferrer Parish in River Forest, Illinois. And in today's first reading, we get this glorious account of the people of Jerusalem going up to a high mountain to look out and to see the exiles returning, but to look and to see the children of God streaming back towards Jerusalem from their exile. And then there we get this interesting line that they have been remembered by God. Now, remember in English often just means like, oh, remember a fact, or recall this, or just something really simple and basic, like do you remember what 2 times 3 is? But it's much more profound here. So here's how I think of it. In my first year that I was teaching at Fenwick, teaching freshmen just a couple weeks into the school year, a question about gay marriage came up in class. And I, as a new teacher, was pretty terrified of answering this and was trying to tread very lightly and delicately. And despite all of my cautions, I looked up and this one kid was crying in the side of the room, and his classmates were looking at him and they were trying to be gentle, and it got kind of awkward at a few points, but then he jumped into conversation and it, long story short, it turned out fine. But he was still a kid crying in class. And it's something that I remember all the time. That when I teach about different moral topics, and when I teach about God and suffering and all of this, this is about people, about real humans. And that there's emblazoned in my head the image of a kid crying because of something that touches so intimately on human life. And I think when we call to mind people, we get this deeper sense of remembrance. And it's about real experiences, real people that God remembers, not just the children of Israel, but this person, their hopes, their dreams, their desires, their agonies, their fears, their joys, all of it, that they are remembered and held present in the mind of God. They are these things that we dwell with. I mean, even just think of how we use remembrance with the Eucharist, that we say, do this in remembrance of me. And that it's not just like, oh yeah, remember that time that Jesus had the Last Supper. It's hold me present. Welcome me into your heart and your mind. Be present with me. And so I think that's actually our call from this reading today. Do we remember God? And do we remember the people that He cherishes? That He remembered the children in exile, remembers the poor, remembers the needy, not just as things to think about and people to give some money to, but holding in our minds and our hearts, cherishing others in need, cherishing all of the lowly and the forgotten. So I just ask you to ponder today, what is it that you hold in your mind as you go about your day? Who do you remember? Thank you for your time, and God bless.